I'll make a phone call to the doctor after this, but let's go ahead and get started here. Now, I have my Dead Rabbit Recommends going on. I saw a movie recently, and I don't necessarily think it falls into Dead Rabbit Recommends, but it was completely weird. It was so bizarre. So it's this new movie, came out in 2017, called Deadly Crush. Now, a lot of times, I don't like to know anything about a movie when I watch them. I just want to go in blind. And from the title, I thought it was going to be about like a babysitter falls in love with the man of the house. And after she tries to kill everyone, no, but it wasn't. Because Deadly Crush, I thought it was going to be like The Crush, starring, who was that? Alicia Silverstone. This was a movie. And again, since I didn't know what it was about, I had to discover it as the movie went on. It was a movie about a young artist, this young woman. She was a struggling painter. She gets a cabin up in the woods to kind of isolate herself and work on her art. And a very beautiful actress. I think her character's name was Bryn. But anyway, so she's up there and she's painting and stuff like that. And there is a ghost there that as she's sleeping, it's making love to her. So it opens up with a couple like tasteful shots of, like this sex scene. And she's dreaming this, so she's seeing this guy. And they're just like, it's all in silhouette. Or she's just like laying there on bed and she's like, mm-hmm. And then the sheriff shows up and is like, hey, you shouldn't be in this house. And the woman's like, well, I rented it out for 3 weeks, so, you can't do anything. And then, like, she meets a guy on Tinder or something. Some guy she barely knows shows up to the house, and they're, like, hitting it off. And then the dude starts to, like, rape her. And then the ghost shows up and beats up the dude. And he's like, he's getting all beat up. So now the woman knows that there's a ghost there. Before, she was just having these dreams. And she's like, you saved me, but it's super scary because you're a ghost floating around. And the movie progresses where she starts to communicate with the ghost. And then we find out that the local cop killed the guy, turned him into a ghost, basically, and his girlfriend. And the ghost was like, I need to get back at the cop. And the woman's like, no, you don't have to kill anybody. And then the artist's friend comes over to visit. And she's also like the art dealer. And she's super drunk, so the ghost possesses her, and that's when the ghost realizes, I can actually jump into the living if they're, like, inebriated or, they don't have a strong will, and I can definitely jump into the body of a dead guy. So the movie progresses, pretty much the whole second act is the ghost saying, we need to find a body I can jump into, and the woman's completely rational for the first 2/3 of the movie. She's like, no, we're not going to let you jump into a dead guy. That's gross. And then he's like, what if we kill somebody? And she's like, no killing people. I'm not going to let you kill anybody. The climax of the movie is the cop who wants to cover up he knows there's a ghost there now. He's like, we have to go and get the ghost out of there. So he finds a local drunk who's also a priest and is like, come to this house and exorcise this ghost so he can't testify against me in trial or something. So the priest and the dirty cop, go to the house. And then the rapist comes back, and he's like, I just want to make things up to you. And they have this weird shootout, and the girl's like, oh my god, help! She's like running around. The cop gets killed, the priest gets killed, and the rapist gets shot, and the ghost lover of this woman, possesses the dead body of the man who was a rapist. And we find out later, he's a serial rapist. He's been raping women all over because the police are looking for him. And it ends with the ghost in the rapist's body and Bryn, the woman, going like, let's just leave together. Because she did love the ghost. And then there's another like 20 minutes of the movie where the guy is slowly, she's banging this corpse now. And she finds out like she didn't know he got shot. And they're having all this sex, and then she realizes, because a guy tries carjacking her, and instead shoots the rapist in the brain, but he's still alive, because he's just possessed by this ghost. And the woman's like, oh my god, I've been having sex with a dead man for these past couple weeks. Then the cops show up, and the dude's gone. And then the movie has another 10 minutes where the art dealer is at like a resort, and Bryn's like, oh yeah, that was so crazy when that rapist kidnapped me. She didn't say he was possessed by a ghost. And then she realizes that the ghost guy is going to try to possess the art dealer. So she runs to the resort, and there's this big fight. And the woman and the rapist fall off a cliff. And there's like this... I laughed out loud. There's just this ridiculous shot of both bodies laying there. And then the woman survives, Bryn survives, and the art dealer's like, whew, that was close. And then it turns out that the ghost left the rapist's body and went into her body. The end. Now, you're like, Jason, that's just a stupid plot. Why did you spend 7 minutes telling us this? The movie itself was fairly basic, but I left out a key detail. So I'm watching the movie, and it's like, it's pretty much what I just told you. In the middle of it, it becomes a softcore, borderline, hardcore porno as she's just getting railed by this ghost. Like, she's just like, top comes off, bottoms come off, she's naked, she's getting like, multiple positions. You just see this weird CGI thing thrusting into her. And I'm thinking this poor actress had to lay in bed and then lean against the refrigerator and then get twisted around and die. It's like as many positions as you can fit into a 5-minute clip. And he's just railing her. I was like, who is this movie made for? If you took that scene out, this movie could be on the Lifetime channel. But this scene was strictly put in for dudes. I have no idea what audience this movie's made for. I will say this. If you're looking for a good movie this Halloween to trick your girlfriend or any other significant other into watching, watch Deadly Crush. Because it totally catches you off guard. I just had to talk about that. Every so often you'll come across the movie that is just flat out bizarre. And you watch it and you go, who made this and what is the audience? It either should have been a ton of ghost sex or no ghost sex or tasteful ghost sex, which is what it was in the beginning, instead of just full on walking into the kitchen to drink some milk and then she gets thrust against the fridge and then turned around and spun around. And it was so bizarre. I had no idea what I was watching. Also, tip, if you're going to have a dark romance, you may not want to have the rapist be the guy that the ghost possessed. There wasn't a lot of pickings there. Could also possess the drunk priest or a old cop. But yeah, bizarre movie. I just don't know what they were going for in that one. So not necessarily a Dead Rabbit recommends, but if you're into ghost sex, that had probably the longest ghost sex scene I've ever seen in a movie. And I've seen a few. And she was really hot. That was a clip from our daily podcast, Dead Rabbit Radio. Dead Rabbit Radio is available anywhere that you listen to podcasts. It's daily paranormal, conspiracy, and true crime news. If you want to hear the full episode that this clip came from, check the link below. Please like and subscribe. And hit that little bell, too. That does some magical stuff. Thanks, guys.